Welcome, my name is Jodie Jordan and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and this is my August card class. We meet every month at the last Friday of every month in person, and I do these videos for everyone to, replay if they want to make the cards themselves. This month we're doing the Sunrise Sailing, and that consists of the stamp set, the dies, and this really nice hybrid embossing folder. Now, in your kit, you're going to receive a large cloud and a small cloud. It's totally up to you what sentiment you use. I'm going to use the sentiment Ahoy. That way I can use this for anything. I'm going to use the Secret C and go ahead and stamp that Ahoy. If you choose a longer sentiment, you can use the longer cloud. Okay. Then in your kit, you've got your regular card base that is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. You've got your panel piece that's going to go on the inside. Let's see. This is the Secret C cardstock, and this panel right here is the cloud cover. Now, before we put this on here, I have ran the top layer and the inside layer is both 4 by 5 1/4. I ran it through the embossing folder just like this to give it some texture. And now I am going to bring in the Stampin' Pad, the white pigment ink. I think it used to be called craft ink or whatever, but I'm just dabbing one of these sponge daubers, and I'm just gently rubbing over the clouds and the sailboat, just ever so lightly. And remember, with this ink, it doesn't dry right away, so you need to be careful of smudging. I'm just going over that raised surface from the embossing it did in the folder. Now, you might get a little bit of white on the outside. That's okay. It's just going to look foggy, like, it's in the morning time and the fog is still out. That's what this reminded me of. This card idea I got from the actual catalog itself, or, online when you go to buy the product. This is one of their samples. I did my own thing to it, but this is where I got that idea. I just have a scratch piece of paper, if you're wondering what that is, for when I go off the edge. Okay, now I don't know if you're familiar, but Stampin' Up! Had an issue with their cloud cover ink pad. Our ink pads are foam, and these empty. You get a pack of them like this. They're uninked, and they're made of felt. There was something that had to do with the reaction of this ink, and they did put out the pad, but it was I guess the ink was pulling or something. So I just bought one of these, and I'm going to grab another dauber and daub that in there a little bit. You could probably even use that to go across, and I'm just going to drag it across the water here just to give it a little bit of color, darker color. Now you can drag it as little or as much as you want. Obviously, if you push too hard, it'll go down in the cracks, and that's what I didn't really want, so I just did it like that. Okay, now I'm going to bring back that Secret Sea ink, and I'm going to come in here and put in some birds. Now on here there are 2 birds already. I'm just going to stamp right on top of those, make them bigger and darker. Okay. Inside your kit, you're going to have some string. It's about 40 inches or so. I gave you plenty, so you could just leave quite a bit laying out to the side and then wrap it 3 times. Tie a bow. I jacked that bow up. Let's try that again. Grab your ribbon scissors and snip off the ends. And if that's not tight, it's okay. You can pull it tighter when you put your dimensionals down. You can kind of pull this and stick a dimensional in there, and that'll tighten it up a little bit. And then bring in your card base and just leave about 1/8 of an inch of border around. And then I popped up my Ahoy. This is a really quick and easy card to make, so, and I think it's pretty elegant looking. So now you guys will receive in your kit, you're going to receive these, they're called the muted palette dots. When I did my ordering, I ordered when they had the sale, and I ended up having 10 people for the class, so I didn't have enough for myself, so I'm just going to use some little clear ones here. Some retired ones that I had laying around that I need to use up. Just dropped it. Okay, so that's card 1. Okay, so for card number 2, you're going to have a piece of copper clay, and this will already be done for you, but I want to show you in case you want to make this card on your own. So this is 3 7/8 wide by 10 1/4 long, and you're going to score it at 5 1/2, 6 1/2, 8 3/4 and 9 3/4. Now, when you're looking at this, and you know how you fold your cardstock, like it's gonna fold up like this. This is one that I messed up, but it's gonna fold up like that. You want your bumpy or your good side of the dots to be on the back. So see how this is, you're gonna score in, you're gonna flip it over, and you're gonna line this up at the very top. And give it a piece of tape. Then you're going to flip it over and you're going to make sure, see how that's not aligned very well? You want to give it a little push to where it's slid over. Let me do that again. Then you're going to add another piece of tape down here. And another piece of tape down here. And then you're going to flip it over. And you've got plate 1, your shimmy, plate 2, a clear plate 3, and another clear plate 3, and you're only going to put this over, like you're not going to go all the way down to the bottom here, and you're going to crank. Don't crank all the way through, just crank till you get to that part and crank back. And this is what it'll make the shape of the card. And then that way you've got your bumps or your arch, see, on the right side. So then you're going to flip it over and you're going to fold down on these score lines. And before you get to gluing, I've got this piece that's gonna, so this was the largest, this is second to largest, and then you're gonna have this one, another white one that's gonna go on the back of here. So we can go ahead and glue this down. You want to glue it before you close up your cardstock. Okay, and you're going to flip it over and glue your white piece. This will be so you can write on it. Keep your 1/4 inch border. Don't worry about it being down here because no one's going to really even notice that. This first flap, you're going to put glue on it. And just make sure that it's going towards, like when you lay it flat like that, it's going towards this. Now you're going to come up one more fold and lay it flat. And then you're going to flip this, the main panel over and push it down. And then it creates a little thing to where it'll stand up like this. Okay? Now for the stamping, I'm bringing in this that says you are a ray of sunshine. Now, this does not fit. I have messed with it and got it to fit on here. I've stretched it and done whatever. You could always cut it or do whatever you want. But this is really small. But when you come to class, I'll already have it ready for you, so you won't have to put it on a block or anything. Let's see. I'm going to do this in, I think I'm going to do it in the blue because I think it'll, let me think. You know what, I think we'll use the copper, or the Cajun Craze. I keep calling it copper clay. Cajun Craze. And we're going to stamp this very carefully. We don't want to get ink everywhere. Okay, I think it looks good. Let me clean this off so it can be drying a little bit. I'm just going to tap this a little bit to get it clean. I might bring one of these little cubes if I'm pretty sure I have it. One of these little things to do the stamping, because I think it'll make you less heavy-handed when you do that. Okay, so now we're going to glue this piece to Cajun Craze. So this was the largest, this was the second to the largest, this is the third, and this is the fourth in the row of your dies. I got all these here, so it'd be like that, 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 and that, okay? So we're going to glue this to this. I think I'm going to take this little stamp . Okay, in your kit, you're going to have this right here, and I'm going to put, let's see, this is going to match up right up along there. So I'm going to put a dimensional on there and make that pop up. Put one here too. I'm going to leave this one with the backing on it for just a second until I position this to where I want to make sure I know where to stamp my waves. I didn't quite get that over far enough, but it's fine. So I'm going to have my sailboat like that, and then I'm going to take the Secret Sea, okay. You guys will do this before you'll stamp everything before you put it together. Oh, I smudged it. But I am just going to put this right there. Just trying to hide my smudge. And then you'll glue this, or you can put glue here and then take that dimensional off. Okay. And then if you want, you can bring in, let's see, the seagull or bird or, I still got it on there, okay. You can put in a couple of these if you want. Okay. And then we're gonna push this down, and this is going to go all the way to the bottom, and you're just going to center that, but you're going to try and figure out where you put the glue. So I'm going to put the glue at the bottom down here only. Okay. And then that'll make that that should stand up just like that. So there's the front, there's the back. Let me grab, what did I do with those? Because I dropped them. Oh, I know, here they are. So again, you guys will use your you guys will use these, the muted palette dots. I didn't order enough, so again, I'm going to just use some clear ones. And these are optional. You don't have to put them on there if you don't want, but I'm just going to put a few. Okay, so that's card 2. Okay, so for card 3, you're going to have a piece of Daffodil Delight cut at 7 1/4 by 5 1/2, scored at 3. Another piece, 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, scored at 1. You're going to have a piece of Designer Series paper, 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. You're going to have a piece of this blue. This is cloud cover. It's 3 by 4. You're going to have the regular inside card panel, 4 by 5 1/4, and you're actually going to have 2 of those, so you can stamp and die cut your sailboat, and then you should have 1 large and 1 small cloud for each card. So all of this is for each card. This will be in the kit, except for this part. You're going to stamp both your sailboats on this. So let's do that first. We're first going to stamp with Cajun Craze. We're going to stamp the sailboat 2 times. You may have to turn it to get it to fit, but it will fit. I'm going to go ahead and stamp one more because I'm making 4 samples. I've already made one. Okay. Now we're going to get this. Let's see, where is it? This little piece right here is also, it's like the bottom of the boat to fill in. We're going to stamp that with Cajun Craze. Okay. Then we're going to bring in, oh, there's one more piece. You should have one of these in your kit, but I'll show you about cutting that in just a second. Then you're going to have the Secret C. Secret C, you're going to stamp your wind sails. And we're going to die cut those out. We're going to use this ink again, but I'm going to wait until I die cut these out real quick. Okay, so that was die cut out with this die. Okay, you're gonna need, I'm just gonna use this scratch piece of paper right here. You're gonna bring in this piece and you're gonna stamp. I used these waves, and I'm using the cloud cover, just color on the same color on the same color. I'm going to stamp that across here like that. Try to keep it as far down at the bottom as you can, because this is kind of squished in a little bit, this card. Like there's not a lot of room for the scene, so kind of push this down to the bottom. Right. So now you're going to add your dimensionals to the back of your boat. And I just cut a couple of these in half to put down here at the bottom. You definitely want to support that bottom, because this little tree trunk area here is very, very flimsy. You want to bring it down so it's kind of riding in the waves. Then you're going to bring your large and your small clouds, put dimensionals on those as well. And you want to keep your dimensionals more on the inside, because you're going to chop off a lot of it. So kind of put this almost touching just inside the thing or the scene. And this one you're going to bring down in this area. Then you're going to flip it over on the back and cut that off. All right, we're going to bring in Secret C again, and we're going to stamp the birds. I just did one here and two over here. I almost messed that up. Hold on one second. Let me clean this off real quick. I lost my stamp. Okay. You definitely don't want any ink around here, because when you go to stamp this, it's going to hit that cloud, and then you're going to have ink all over that. Okay. Now, I'm bringing in an additional stamp set. You're going to use, what is this punch called? Keeping Tabs punch. They actually retired the stamp set, but I'm bringing it to class. You can't buy this stamp set anymore. I'm using the Happy Birthday, but you can use any of these will fit on these, and I am going to stamp the Happy Birthday. And you want to try and get right up at the very top, but not so far to where, you know, I mean, if it's easier for you to put the bend in there so you know not to go that far, then do that. I think I'm going to turn this around. It's kind of messed up on that side. Okay. We're going to close our ink. Bring in your glue. You're going to actually glue this shut. You're going to apply just a small little bead of glue here, and you're going to put it right in between, like that. Glue it to the back of there. Okay, so now let's assemble our card. You're going to fold this over your designer series paper. You're going to glue that down. This is actually one of my favorite card folds. I don't know why, I just really like the way it, you know, you could use a lot of designer series paper, but yet you can still create a scene. I really like doing this one. I'm thinking about maybe using this for one of our Christmas cards for the Christmas party, but I'm not sure. Now this, you're going to fold on the line and put glue on that. You're going to turn this, and this is going to glue down flat like this, but you want to make it basically even. You want to try and make it even. I mean, you don't have to, but that's just what I prefer. You can glue it all the way to the bottom if you want. It doesn't make a difference. It's your card. You can do it however you want. Then on the inside, you're going to glue, you have an addition, that white piece that we always put on every card that's not white. You're going to put that so it'll cover this right here. Now, I know in the class, somebody's going to glue this first, and they're going to not know what to do. The only thing you can do is just glue it on the back of this flap, and it's not a big deal. I mean, you know, most people don't look at the back of your card, so it's not really a big deal, but I'm just telling you ahead of time, glue this panel and then this one, so it'll be on top. Then I'm going to put more dimensionals on here. Not on this yellow part. That's going to be kind of floating out to the side. This is just another one of those stamp sets that retired before I really got a chance to demonstrate it or use it. And it seems like a lot of stuff is kind of going that way with Stampin' Up. Everything's online. They're keeping it in stock until they run out, or if they can restock it in time. I don't know, but things are getting harder to get, so I am sorry that I didn't get to do an actual class on this, but I'm using it for this because, like I said, there's not much of a scene here. So, like I said, this stamp set, which is Keeping Tabs, is no longer available, but you can still get this, and there are a lot of stamp sets that I'm sure that sentiment will fit in there. And then again, you guys will put your gems on here, or these gems, whichever color you want on there. I'm just going to use these clear ones because I didn't order enough for myself for this class, and I have a whole bin of things that I can use. So if you don't want to use because this is such a small space, I understand that too. You can do whatever you want. I'm just going to use these little clear ones and just kind of randomly throw some dots on here. Every time you do the card, it's going to be a little bit different, so there might not be as much room. Or you could also leave off your birds if you feel like this is too clustered. I mean, everybody has a different style, but that is card 3. I really hope you guys liked this boho paper. In my head, to me, I liked it because it was kind of like a rainbow over the boat, and that's why I chose it. And it's a little bit different. I mean, I feel like this is a total card that you could use that's masculine. All 3 of these cards could be given to men, and I know sometimes in our class that is often an issue, is not making it so girly, I guess. But that was the reason why I picked this paper. I know we were all kind of like, I could tell on your faces, like everybody was kind of like, yeah, we're going to use that paper. But I think it worked out. I hope you like the cards, and I hope you all have a blessed day. Thanks. Bye-bye.